Welcome to my mix room. This is the spare bedroom in my parents' house, so I'm back to having power. Can run the iMac and speakers and all those kind of goodies to get my project from just pure recorded tracks, just audio files, and to tune them and polish them and turn them into album ready songs. Hopefully, like I think I've said before, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm learning a lot as I go and I'm getting sounds that are making me happy. So that's the main thing on both sides, I guess. Learning and making me happy. So what's going on here is I've got my iMac running Cubase. I think this is Elements 8, possibly. I think it's the newer one than is what is on my laptop. But when I take the project off of my laptop, I save everything onto a hard drive, put it onto here, drag it onto the desktop or wherever. And then when I boot the project from that file, that older Cubase file automatically does its magic thing and shows up here in the newer Cubase, no problems whatsoever. I don't even have to click a button to say convert, it just opens right up. I'm not sure if it's backwards compatible. That is something I'm kind of curious about, but haven't had need to test yet. I love Cubase. It does everything I need it to do. It looks cool. It's easy to navigate and straightforward for a bozo like me. So that's great. Basically, what it is, if you're not familiar with a DAW program, is it's a place to organize and manipulate the sounds of all the projects you've been working on. So what I've got here, and you won't be able to really see it, I need to find a screenshot program to run on my computer so I can talk and navigate around this stuff and show you guys what I'm doing. But basically, you can have each one of these lines up here is an audio file, and that audio file is one snippet or one channel of sound. And you can put them all together in this program and line them up and cut and paste and mute things and change volumes. And then basically my other view is a big mixer that pops up on screen. And I can drag faders and add effects and edit things to my heart's content. So that's basically the program. And then from there, I'm running my good old Focusrite interface. Same one I use for recording. I've just got it plugged in now as a monitoring application. So once it's plugged in and set up with Cubase, it takes the signal from the computer and then puts it out the back. I've got two instrument cables running to these two monitor speakers, which are okay. They're fine. They're kind of possibly old and a little worn out, and a little cheap, but I'm borrowing them from a friend, and really the main thing is just getting to know what they sound like in relation to everything. So if you play a song that you know on these speakers, it's going to sound one way, and if you know that song well enough, hopefully your ear can kind of fill in the gaps and realize, okay, this song sounds this way on these speakers. That means I should be aiming to make my songs, when I mix them, sound approximately like this on these speakers. So in a perfect world, I would have a perfect mix room, and everything that came out of the speakers would be pretty much exactly what is exactly true, I guess you could say, is a true sound that's not going to be colored in very many ways. But this is ghetto to the max here, so got nothing fancy like that going on. But a couple things that I learned in my journey of trying to get myself a ghetto little mix setup is that when you set up your speakers, you're supposed to have them at a width that is a perfect triangle to where your ears are or where your face is. So, your head is 1.23, and you try to get those all even distances. So that's the way why they're arranged as they are. It's kind of late. I'm having a hard time talking here. That's why they're arranged as they are. And I've actually got them up on a couple pieces of foam. Otherwise, the desk is kind of acting as an instrument and ringing like crazy and humming and adding extra low end that shouldn't be there. So I've got a couple pieces of foam that I pulled out of an old couch to set them on. So they float a little bit off the desk and are isolated is the word I'm looking for. So nothing fancy. This room is almost a square room. It's a little bit longer going this way, the way I'm mixing. You're supposed to mix down the length of a room whenever possible. And then you're supposed to stand like a third of the way from one wall. So I've got this wall here. I'm standing, where my desk is set up, where I'm standing when I'm mixing is a third of the way across the room this way. If that makes any sense at all. This angle stuff is a little confusing. But that's basically the setup. It's really nothing fancy. There's a bookshelf behind me on the wall, which is supposedly nice for breaking up the sound or whatever. This is definitely not my only listening space. I've been trying to take the songs, I take them out into my car and listen to them in my car, and I take them to a friend's stereo. And actually, I might have an opportunity to take them into an actual studio and listen to them there, which would be really great to kind of get a real idea what they're sounding like. I had my PA set up today, listening through that, just trying to get an idea of what it's sounding like on a wide variety of different systems, because these have their own sound, and what sounds good on here might not sound good on iPad speakers or earbuds or my car stereo. So you try and find that middle ground that kind of makes everything sound the best compromise for every system. So that's where we're at. I need to find some sort of screenshot recording program for my computer. If anybody has any recommendations, please let me know in the comments, because I'd rather not do that research myself if someone has a great recommendation. But just so I can dig into what's happening on screen and also port the sound into the video, so you guys can hear the changes that I've made and what kind of tweaks I'm doing to the different tracks and the effects and my process with all that stuff. So until next time, aloha.